So our review continues into function of a function. We're finding f of g of x. So it's f of g of x. Okay, which means it's f of x squared minus 3. So I have to take that x squared minus 3 and plug it in for both of those x's in f of x. So that's 7 times x squared minus 3 over x squared minus 3 minus 6. In the numerator, I can distribute 7x squared minus 21. In the denominator, I can combine like terms, x squared minus 9. That cannot be simplified. There's nothing I can take out of every term. And if I factored, I would get 7 times x squared minus 3 over x plus 3 times x minus 3. There's no factors that will cancel. So that is our final answer. And then find the domain of f of g of x. Our first step is the domain of the inner function. Domain of g of x. In g of x, I've got a radical, and under that radical has to be 0 or bigger. So it's greater than or equal to 0. So x is greater than or equal to negative 3. I'm going to circle that because part of my domain of a function is the domain of the inner function. Next, we'll do the domain of the outer function. There's a denominator, and a denominator cannot equal 0. So x cannot equal 7. That's not going to be part of my final answer, but the fact that that's not all reals tells me, go on to step 3, the domain of the composition. So the domain of f of g of x. And here I take from step 1 and step 2, g of x cannot equal 7. So the square root of x plus 3 cannot equal 7. Square both sides. X plus 3 cannot equal 49. And subtract that 3. X cannot equal 46. I will circle that. Our final domain must satisfy the inner function and the composition. So the domain of f of g of x is the set of all x such that x is greater than or equal to negative 3, but x does not equal 46.